Hello everyone. Welcome back to my channel where we bring you the latest news from the world of the paranormal, the mysterious, and the supernatural. Join me today for a fascinating look into a banned prophecy that no one is supposed to know about. This is the stuff they don't teach you in Sunday school, but it may be part of what you need to hear if you are still awake during the end times. And remember, only 7% of you who watch these videos are actually subscribed. So if you want to stay updated with our latest releases, be sure to hit the subscribe button. Without further ado, let's get started. For the past few years, there have been rumors circulating online about an ancient text known as the banned prophecy of Ezra, which is said to contain shocking revelations about the end times. According to some sources, this so-called book was once part of the Old Testament, but was removed by the Catholic Church thousands of years ago. Now, while there is no historical evidence to support the claim that the book of Ezra was ever part of the Bible, there are many Christians who believe that it contains important information about the second coming of Christ that has been suppressed by religious authorities. So what is the truth behind this controversial text, and what does it say about the end of days? Is there really such a thing as the Book of Enoch? Stay tuned. In this video, we will explore the origins and contents of the Book of Ezra and discuss why it has been banned throughout history. We will also examine the claims made by those who believe in its authenticity and consider the evidence for and against its inclusion in the biblical canon. The story begins with a man named Ezra, who is said to have been a Jewish prophet and priest who lived in the 5th century BC. He is best known for his work in compiling and editing the Torah, also known as the Pentateuch, or the first 5 books of the Old Testament. However, according to some sources, Ezra also wrote other books that were not included in the Bible, including a text known as the Apocalypse of Ezra, or the Prophecy of Ezra. The book of Ezra supposedly contains visions that Ezra had about the future, including prophecies about the Antichrist, the destruction of Jerusalem, and the final judgment of humanity. It is said that these visions were recorded by Ezra's student, a man named Aristobulus, who later became the high priest of Israel. However, there is no historical evidence to support the claim that Aristobulus was a student of Ezra, or that he ever served as high priest. In fact, the only mention of Aristobulus in the Bible is in the New Testament, where he is mentioned as being the father of another man named Aristobulus, who was a member of the Sanhedrin, the Jewish council that governed religious matters in the time of Jesus. Despite the lack of historical evidence, some Christians have embraced the book of Ezra as a genuine prophetic text. They believe that the book was deliberately removed from the Bible by the Catholic Church in order to prevent people from learning the truth about the end times. This conspiracy theory is based on the fact that the Catholic Church has exclusive control over the process of deciding which books are included in the Bible, a power that it has exercised since the early days of Christianity. As a result, many Christians have come to distrust the Church and believe that it is possible that other books that contain important information about the Bible and prophecy have also been suppressed. One of the main reasons why the Catholic Church has been able to maintain control over the process of canonizing books is because it is the oldest Christian institution still in existence. The Church was founded by Jesus Christ himself, and it has been around for nearly 2,000 years. This means that it has had a lot of time to establish itself, and its authority is widely recognized. Another reason is because the Church has a centralized structure that allows it to make decisions quickly and efficiently. The Pope is the head of the Church, and he is assisted by a group of advisors called the College of Cardinals. This means that when it comes to making decisions about what books should be included in the Bible, the Church doesn't have to worry about getting everyone on board. Finally, the Church has a lot of resources at its disposal. It has a large membership, and it also has a lot of money. This means that the Church can afford to hire experts to help it make decisions about what books should be included in the Bible. But the fact that the Catholic Church is the oldest, most centralized, and wealthiest Christian denomination is seen by some as a negative. Many Protestants believe that the Church has become too powerful and that it is using its power to control people's beliefs. They argue that the Church should not have the authority to decide which books are included in the Bible, and that it is possible that other books that contain important information about the Bible have been suppressed. This belief is based on the fact that the Catholic Church has been involved in a number of scandals in recent years. For example, the Church has been accused of covering up the sexual abuse of children by priests. This has led to a lot of people losing faith in the Church and its leaders. As a result, many people are now looking for alternative sources of religious information. So what exactly does the book of Ezra say about the end times? The book begins with a vision of the destruction of Jerusalem and the surrounding area, which is then followed by a description of the Antichrist. The Antichrist is described as a wicked king who will rule over the world for 7 years and cause great suffering for Christians. He is also described as a false prophet who will perform miracles in order to deceive people into following him. Towards the end of the book, there is a vision of the final judgment of humanity. It is described as a day when God will pour out his wrath on the earth and destroy all evil. However, it is also a day when Christians will be rewarded for their faith and good works. There are 3 main arguments that are used to support the claim that the book of Ezra is a genuine prophetic text. The first argument is that it contains information about the Bible that cannot be found in the books that are currently in the Bible. For example, it contains information about the destruction of Jerusalem and the surrounding area, as well as a description of the Antichrist and the final judgment of humanity. The second argument is that the book is consistent with other prophetic texts in the Bible. For example, the description of the Antichrist in the book of Ezra is consistent with the description given by John in the New Testament. And the third argument is that the book has been around for a long time and has been accepted as a true prophetic text by many Christians. It is not a new book, and it has been around for centuries. It has been accepted as a true prophetic text by many Christians throughout history. However, there are also 3 main arguments against the authenticity of the book of Ezra. The first argument is that there is no historical evidence to support the claim that the book was written by Ezra or that it was included in the Old Testament. The second argument is that the book contains information that contradicts the Bible. For example, it contains information about the destruction of Jerusalem and the surrounding area, but there is no mention of this in the books that are currently in the Bible. And the third argument is that the book has not been accepted as a true prophetic text by any major Christian denomination. In conclusion, the book of Ezra is a controversial text that contains information about the end times that is not found in the current Bible. Despite the lack of historical evidence to support its authenticity, many Christians believe that the book is genuine and that it was deliberately removed from the Bible by the Catholic Church. Whether or not the book of Ezra is a true prophetic text is ultimately up to each individual to decide. However, it is important to be aware of the arguments both for and against its authenticity before making a decision. Only then can you form an informed opinion on this highly debated topic. So what do you think? Is there anything we missed? Let us know in the comments below. And while you're there, be sure to like and subscribe for more great videos. Thanks for watching.